Let it go, Lucilla. Face what you know is reality. Once again, I found the courage to step into this room. Time flows here, silent and peaceful. The Academy is alive and thriving. We've come so much further than I ever dreamed. I wish you were here to see it. The accident report is indisputable. Cable insulation. Failure, leading to flight control abnormality. But the truth is simpler. I approved the plan. I killed her. I wrestled with it for so long. What's a teacher supposed to do when a student dreams something so brilliantly insane? But she chose the sky. And I thought, at least let her have one chance to fall.
Time for class.
Is that Sundamir? Are we back before the starward Lahai-Roi was even built?
Most of the students who lost their synchronous status in those forced sync trials decided to return home. All but one. She told me it wasn't that she'd lost the Exostrider. The Exostrider had lost her. She said she designed a revolutionary transport method. A rocket piercing the sky. A way to bridge that sky and the earth. This was the day she tested it. Her first crewed flight.
Then that wasn't a falling star. It was...
a spacecraft. Carrying the most brilliant student I've ever known.
Mia to Sundermere Lookout. Professor, can you hear me?
Yes.
The weather couldn't be more perfect today. Oh, and I just saw a super huge Solaskin. I'll snap a picture for you as soon as I can.
Okay.
Professor? You don't sound like your usual self. Are those investors giving you a hard time again?
No, it's not that. I haven't slept much lately. I'm a little tired. That's all.
Professor, do you trust us? Hey, remember that old Huanglong saying? Know the way at dawn and, something something at dusk? Ugh, it went right out of my head.
I can't remember it either.
That's okay. I'll look it up and tell you the second the experiment is over. Talk to you soon.
Please, move her. From the way it fell, void matter must have pierced the shielding mid-flight. But if we'd reinforced the coating... What kind of civilization do you think built the Exostrider? If they were that advanced, do you think they'd already defeated the Threnodians? Overcome the Lament? But before they reached the stars, they must have fallen too. Again and again. Go. Be our eyes. Walk with humanity. Please, give this to our teacher. Humanity's smallest step. And everything we had to give.
This isn't good. Lucilla! Lucilla, wait! Lucilla, your emotions are affecting this domain. It's dangerous.
Staying here is the real danger. Oh, we have to leave. Almost there. As long as we keep moving upward, we'll find the way out.
So this is why you wouldn't tell me what your plan was. This way out you've been building for the Synchronists. It's just a dead end, isn't it?
I don't want the new Federation to lay their dirty hands on my students. But the more I think about it rationally, the more I realize I can't reject their offer. Because on what grounds can I propose a plan that might kill them?
I think I know why that girl trapped you here.
What?
You're terrified that your proposal will be their end. You're afraid because you know they'll support any plan you bring to the table. Because you're their teacher. Because no one in this world understands them the way you do.
Another lesson from my own student. Huh. See you later, Rover.
I hope humanity can soar even higher. I hope humanity can venture even farther.
I hope humanity can weather any storm.
Professor, what's your dream? My dream? My dream is simply to see all of yours come true. See you later, Professor. Let's go. Together this time.
Dismissed.
I witness. I inscribe all that I have. Look at the camera. Memories take shape.
Professor, can you hear me?
I hear you. Loud and clear.
The weather couldn't be more perfect today. Oh, and I just saw a super huge Solaskin.
Yes, I see it too. You're right. It's absolutely huge.
Great. I thought you weren't gonna believe me. Right. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Was that girl another one of your students?
She is every memory I have of this academy. She is every one of my students.
We've come all this way, and I still don't know what your plan actually is.
That's okay. Everyone's about to find out.
Tired?
That was an excited yawn, Rover.
Rover, where are you and Lucilla? The other panelists have all taken their seats. The students, too. Can we really trust this plan of hers? Anyway, I'm leaving the speech to you.
If I...
Then we'll face it together. See you later, Professor.
President Lucilla, I am Cameron, Permanent Secretary of the Space Trek Collective Board. By appointment of the board, and on behalf of the Investors Conference, I hereby convene this second special inquiry concerning the synchronous program of Star Torch Academy. Pursuant to Article 12 of the Space Trek Collective Charter, President Lucilla, you may now raise any procedural objections regarding the attendees, the agenda, or the draft of this session.
I would like to know the national composition of this review panel, Miss Cameron.
This panel consists of 10 members, all from the new Federation. 5 serve as special representatives, and of the remaining 4 permanent board members, 2 have abstained and delegated their voting rights to the Federation. Additionally, we have Mr. Alto, attending as independent auditor on behalf of the Black Shores.
Then, Ms. Cameron, I believe the current composition of this panel fails to comply with charter regulations governing review committees.
According to the regulations, any participant authorized by a board member shall be deemed to hold the same nationality as that member. The panel's composition is perfectly valid.
Pardon the interruption. If that's the case, then Rover, currently a student at Rebel College, can also be considered a panelist appointed by the Black Shores. Here's the paperwork.
Welcome, Rover.
I have no further questions, Ms. Cameron.
Then, per the agenda, I will now relay the investors' resolution following our previous inquiry. Given that the loss of the Exostrider constitutes a de facto failure of the program, our immediate priority is to establish a compensation plan for the affected assets and students. Furthermore, the board directs that the synchronous program must be terminated immediately, or at minimum suspended.
My stance remains unchanged, Ms. Cameron. I intend to continue the program.
We require a justification.
Panelists, this is a theoretical prototype for a shield designed to counter retroact rain, created by one of our synchronists. This prototype significantly accelerated the development of Jinzhou's own defenses. It saved countless lives during the war against the Threnodian Overthrax. And yet, the material used in this prototype was originally nothing more than discarded scrap from one of the engineering department's experiments. It was only because its designer was a synchronist, educated in engineering, void matter, and even meteorology, that this material found a second life.
You seem to be arguing for the superiority of general education for the synchronists, President Lucilla. However, general education isn't even included in the program's white paper. I fail to see a link between that and advancing the synchronous program. The shield is an impressive surprise, But given the cost of gambling on such a slim probability, the cost effectiveness is simply too low.
Ms. Cameron, panelists, how exactly are we meant to measure the cost effectiveness of failure? As you can see, this shattered component comes from a failed experiment. One that was not even recorded in the Collective's official gazette. A synchronist gave her life as the price for validating her theory. "15 months later, this very component became the final piece for the construction of the Star-Ward Riseway, the bridge between Lahai-Roi's Earth and the sky. Humanity does not always set out for the sake of victory, Ms. Cameron. Our synchronists know from the day they enroll. No one knows when the Exostrider will awaken, and the odds that they'll be the one to pilot it are slim. Yet they come anyway. They march toward likely failure from the very start. So I ask you, can you truly say that such failure has no value? And how can we call that a failure of the Synchronists, when the Exostrider was the one who banished LF1 from our world?
Secretary Camero, the Black Shores representative requests the floor.
Proceed.
On the subject of unforeseen benefits from the program, we find ourselves in agreement with President Lucilla. This is a set of disclosable data we've just compiled. Significant proportion of current Black Shore members came from Star Torch Academy. These Bloom Bearers demonstrate exceptional capability, talent, and resolve, traits most prominent among the Synchronists. Furthermore, the Synchronists serve as role models for other students. I believe Rover is better suited to speak on that.
The Synchronist program is a search for a way out for our civilization. When we believed the Exostrider was the only route, then those fit to pilot it were the Synchronists. Now that the Exostrider is no longer a viable option, the ones fit to search for a new way out are still our Synchronists.
Yes, which is why I must disagree with evaluating the Synchronist program purely in terms of cost effectiveness. I urge investors to reconsider the criteria used to measure its value.
We require a discussion. This session is adjourned for 5 minutes.
Let them see your potential. Let them see your value. But that is not enough.
President Lucilla, following the review panel's deliberation, we fully recognize the potential value of the Synchronists as an independent academic division, as well as their role model effect. However, as Rover stated, only those fit to shoulder the burden of finding a new way out deserve the title Synchronist. Therefore, we propose a compromise. Rebel College will be preserved, but all future training must be subject to the guidance and review of this panel. Let's both take a step back, shall we? President Lucilla.
This is it. The final fight, Lucilla. Take a deep breath. Keep your composure. And remember. Everything you regret. Everything that brings you joy. Everything you have lost. Everything you have witnessed. The answer you chase. The treasure you give everything to protect. No, that won't be necessary, Secretary Cameron. The Synchronists of today, they remain the closest thing this world has to a way out for our civilization. After our confrontation with Aleph 1, we recovered this audio recording from the interstellar probe Farwatcher.
It's nothing more than static.
Even so, it is the only legacy the pioneers of Solaris have left us. We are not alone, Secretary Cameron. Just as our ancestors took shelter in caves, just as Star Torch Academy was built in Lahai-Roi, just as humanity itself endures on Solaris. A brave soul took the first step to claim that future.
I fail to see what this has to do with the Synchronists.
Using Rebel College research, we can build vehicles driven entirely by augmented resonance. That means complete immunity to frequency interference. And the training our Synchronists undergo makes them the perfect pilots for these vessels.
But the Strider Gate has been sealed. Not to mention, whatever lies beyond can hardly be called a route.
Who said civilization's route to the future has to go down?
The stars.
President Lucilla, I'm sure you know, any instrument that nears the etheric sea.
I am well aware of that. However, by relying on augmented resonance effects, the Academy can overcome that barrier.
And if it fails, the cockpit becomes a coffin. Is that a chance you're willing to take?
This is our decision. If the answer lies beyond death, then that's where we go. Just wait and see. My brightest students will pierce the sky for all to see.
The car will be here soon. I could take it from here.
Thanks for everything, Alto. Really.
You! It was a long day. The kind you don't forget, though. Rover, can you pass a message to the president for me? After a speech like that, the outcome doesn't matter half as much. Anyway, chillax. Everything's gonna be all right. Well, catch you at the Black Shores, my friend.
Yeah. Till next time.